I'm Zoë Lumiere. I see so many familiar faces, pretty much all familiar faces, so I kind of don't need or have the feeling to do an introduction, but I am really grateful to see you guys. And I am so abundantly excited to be joined by this guy. I do need to really ground 100% confidentiality. So I know that most of you here on this call have a really clear sense of what that means, but I want to very clearly state that nothing that is to be shared from any participant here is to be repeated again to any other individual. Please feel free to share anything that Eric or I say. We're doing this event. Our experience is an open book. Feel free to share that. But anything that you hear from another participant, please do never share that again with another human being. And please don't ever share that again to that particular person that shared. Someone might be releasing, letting go of something, and they truly may be letting go of it. So you just bringing it up to them uninvited could cause a disservice. So I am asking everyone in this moment, if you're not completely committed to giving that gift of 100% confidentiality to everyone on this call, I'm asking you to log off. We love you, we respect you, but I'm asking that everyone on this call respect that guideline.
I was going to add one thing about that.
Yes.
Well, if there's a tool shared or something that works for someone that you like, and then you end up using it, using your own, of course you could share it. So we're really talking about what's personal and individual to each person. That would be the confidential. And the reason we do value the emotional side, the feelings so much in this work is from our experience that the emotions are a backdoor to the unconscious and clearing these unconscious blocks. So it's almost like a speed track to that grace, and just a great way that works in terms of what we've experienced. So
yeah,
all right,
really beautiful.
So anyway, we want to hear from you guys. Why are you here? What do you want from this? And what's your intention? And we'll take a few just out loud, really bulleted, focused sharings. But if you want to just type in the chat, why are you here? What do you want and your intention, or just anything you want to share? We'd love to hear from you, and we'll read some of those.
Yeah, I'm here just to get more free and have fun. And I've noticed that a part of me is like really getting very high, and there's another parts of me that are kind of dragging anchor that I don't really know how to, how can I say it, encompass with. I'm willing to love them, but they're being a little feisty about it. That's it.
Love it. Thank you. I'm glad you're here.
We really appreciate that, Richie. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm here too. Love you guys.
Love you.
When I first heard the question, I went from abundance. Of course, you know how I think. So I have a long list of comics in my head that are just always talking. So, and a table in heaven. So it's another long. Said, oh, I'm here for the money. But what I'm really looking at is I want to clear anything. I want to believe in my heart fully and completely without any considerations, just unconditionally, that I am loved by God. I love God. God loved me, and I will always have what I need, and that without the mental part of all that. So, and I seem to have some energy there that has created, like, I've almost like forced myself into a corner in a sense with my life lately. So I feel like that's a good thing. I don't feel like, which is why I haven't panicked. I've been like, oh, this is time for me to grow into this, but this is what I would like. It's not on a spiritual level. I would love a large what's the word? Inflow of cash. But also more about that other like place where I just throw my arms wide to the cosmos and go, I love you, cosmos. I'll take a tip.
I love that. I'm really hearing greater trust with that you're taken care of, and I'll just put my hand up for that. And does anyone else want greater trust that no matter what, you're going to get what you need? So yeah, I think it's a great one.
I see this projected into even like all the like emotional stuff around
Yep.
our changes with the government, everything. It's like about just letting go of all that and going, I'm going to focus on inner peace and be like a monk chanting and changing the energy in a way I can never see what it comes back. You know, like just
So beautiful.
that kind of flow.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine if we all did that. Really beautiful. Thank you so much, Mitchell.
Thanks, Mitchell.
All right, I will just quickly read out some of these beautiful intentions to overcome unhealthy habits. My hand's up on that one. To completely open to abundance on all levels and receive with joy. Learning to heal. I love that one. Greater healing. Experience greater freedom to love unconditionally, be clear and get clear about the block that surfaced. Great. So if there is something specifically up for you, this exercise will work for that, for the highest good. Clearing unconscious, basic selves and inner child blocks for greater cooperation with my three selves, loving alignment for the highest good. Blessings. Alrighty, so I'm just going to continue to share a few pieces of information before we dive in, before we throw you all in the deep end and have you share a little. So the number one key to abundance, and I'm being very bold in saying this, but I'm doing it on purpose. And it's something that I received from my spiritual teacher, John Roger, but in being really curious about this idea of spiritual manifestation, of abundance, I have done a lot of reading and a lot of just experiencing. Something that I actually listened to recently, which I really loved, is actually a free series from Eckhart Tolle on conscious manifestation. And pretty much it's so wonderful when you see what everyone's saying, that these spiritual principles truly are universal. So this is how I would frame this number one key for really living in a profound state of abundance. And it's simply to experience your life just as it is right now, as completely full, as abundant, as profoundly and fully successful. So regardless of the physical world circumstances, the key is really to live that inner experience, that fullness, that gratitude, that full experience inside. So whether or not I've got $10 in the bank or $10 million in the bank, what is my inner experience? So
I just want to add something on that just came present. Is that not only does this relate to your life here, but beyond that, it relates to you inside of you. So if maybe you have any judgments that part of you, doesn't have enough skills, or you're lacking in some area, maybe you don't know how to communicate in the best way, or whatever these are, this is also an experience, I would say, of lack, of not feeling the fullness of who you are inside. So abundance is both reflected out here, but it really starts within us. And that's why we go for the inside. But I will just say it relates to also, in many ways, how we're relating to ourself inside. And we'll work on these judgments in the process.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I just think that's a great point. And what it brings up in me is just how interconnected everything is. The big lack that I've been working with this year is a lack of being able to relax and not have this ego drive of I'm not doing enough. I just push. So the biggest lack that I've been really focusing on is really letting go of whatever unconscious block is just pushing me to work so hard. And I do think it's absolutely wonderful that as I've grown in my abundance of relaxation, of really trusting, of actually letting go and doing less, I think it's just lovely that that's also been rewarded maybe by the universe in greater abundance. So that wouldn't make sense from the ego, doing less, relaxing, to actually receiving more. But I do really experience that we are so everything's connected. So the greater abundance that I have in this sense of I'm doing a fucking great job, no matter how hard I'm spinning my wheels. Actually, maybe the less I'm spinning my wheels, the more I'm able to let spirit really work its magic through me and to actually bring in greater abundance, definitely inside first, but then around. So this beautiful quote from Eckhart really is the heart of this. Acknowledging the good you already have in your life is the foundation. And in my experience is the springboard, is kind of like that ability to allow what's next for all abundance. So again, this is an inside job. If this were a workshop designed to use our ego, we would probably focus on what's in your bank account. How can you hustle? How can you do more? But I believe that as we grow in consciousness, we have, spirit doesn't let us get away with manifesting through the ego as effectively. We have such a fucking better way, and it's called relaxing, letting go, and allowing the spirit to manifest, to be us, to do us, to work through us. And so while we'll still be aware that the ego is pushing us in certain ways to get what we need from outside of ourselves, I love doing this work. I love sharing this work because we truly can learn that everything that we need is within. And to the extent that we give ourselves that we need within, that lack inside manifests in abundance outside.
And I just want to throw something out, and you guys, I'm guessing, are on board with this in some way or willing to, but my experience is that we are abundant. So it's not just something we receive or call forward, but actually in the highest truth of who we are is we are this infinite, you could say abundance, love, but abundance comes out of this fullness that is totally taken care of, totally fulfilled, totally content. And so for me, this ideal is to carry this abundance consciousness, this frequency wherever I go. So I'm the point of contact, not what's out here. And so really I bring that wherever I am, no matter what it is, and I can be in this fullness. And in that there is an enjoyment and there is a freedom. So to me, that's like the ultimate, is to really have a greater experience that we are this abundance inside of ourselves. And I just do see it reflect outside in the world, in my world, as I also claim it inside. So
yeah. And not to discredit the power of the spiritual truth of that, but I do think it's beautiful that neuroscience, quantum physics is now proving that to the extent that we do experience that we want, we do actually have a greater ability through the reticular activating system to actually bring that more fully into our experience. And I think what you're sharing, honey, Wayne Dyer agrees with you. He says abundance is not something we acquire. It is something that we tune into. I encourage you to take in these beautiful quotes. This is from our spiritual teacher, John Roger. I'll tell you a secret about this world. It meets you exactly where it finds you and gives you what you present to it. So if you go out there looking for anger, it'll justify your anger. And if you go out there looking for love, it will justify your love. It will match exactly what you put out. That's the key if you want health, wealth, and happiness. So in some ways, I could have just said that 10 times and that would have really driven this incredible universal truth home. Joe Dispenza, a leader in neuroscience, quantum physics, to be happy with yourself in this present moment while maintaining a dream of your future is a grand recipe for manifestation. And I love to call this work high involvement, low attachment. It's not easy to really be showing up for, maybe I'm called to create in career and money, to really create. It's actually not easy to be showing up fully, but then also to be super happy with this moment, to be so detached from the outcome, because really what you have right now is awesome sauce. It's incredible, but I'm still receiving and allowing and letting the spirit call me into what's next. So all of that's very wonderful, right? It's great. And none of that's new. I don't think that would be new to anyone here. If we want to create more, feel that fullness inside, and we will go. We will not only begin to find it more easily, we'll feel it inside, but we definitely then will attract that to us. The challenge is that we're human beings and we're here at a clear karma. And if we were robots, right, we could just program our levels of gratitude, of fullness up to 100%, and then we would just experience manifestation. But I do believe it's on point. Those moments, those challenges, when for whatever reason, you know that you should feel good about the amount of money in your bank account, but maybe something happens and something hits you in the stomach. It's a fear, a doubt. It's a beautiful piece of your karma, in my experience, that's coming up for clearing. And there are so many tools that we can use through the emotions to track back into the unconscious wiring, those misbeliefs, and then really actually free up some of that limitation, free up some of that energy that is holding us back from moving forward. So I do encourage us all to have just so much compassion and patience and loving for ourselves, because if you're like me, you're aware that it's actually not that easy being human, right? We have feelings, we have challenges, and that can derail us sometimes.
So what holds you back? And if you want to put in the chat, we'll also again take a few focus sharings, but what holds you back from experiencing greater fullness in your life? So we'd love to hear.
Yeah, and so I will.
What holds you back, honey?
So what holds me back? This ego. I have a really good ego. I actually created a fucking great corporate career. I've created a lot in my life through this ego of, if I work really hard, then I'll make lots of money, and then I'll be a good girl, and then I can be lovable. So actually what holds me back from that next level of abundance and truly the life that I want is this part in me that works so hard and is always like, you're not doing enough, work harder. So that is actually what holds me back from really letting go and letting the spirit drive me, guide me, manifest for me more fully. What about you, honey? What holds you back?
I think for me, it's being present. It's not making what's really important. It's not really choosing where I place my focus and consciousness. So it's like a fear of committing and really going all in to life and to this human experience and what my heart really wants. So yeah.
Beautiful. So please feel free to drop whatever is present in the chat. Please know that really we're here to unpack this question, right? We're here to give you an exercise that not only helps you have a little awareness on what is it, that unresolved issue, that unconscious block that might be holding you back, but we're actually going to give you an experience of actually filling that up with a little more abundance.
Should we take 2 sharings?
Yeah, let's do it. Back and really placing this in the light as another great vote of, hey spirit, if you're listening, this is what I want support on in letting go of today. So I'm gonna read some of these out loud. What holds me back? I hold myself back. Perfection. Oh my Lord, all those people that run perfection, that's a big part for me. Whew. Some old trauma inside of me that still feels like an outcast and not accepted. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to put my hands up on all these. Not believing in myself, feeling unworthy and useless, failure. Yep, not allowing it. Yep, I think if I were to rename my work, it would be like Hustlers Anonymous. And that's really just those people that relate to my karma, but that, we have this opportunity to relax and allow spirit more fully. So how do we, truly learn how to allow? I love that. Mentally lazy. You can read something.
I'm going to just suggest that behind these actions that are holding us back is really the misbeliefs. And that's what we're going to work on in the next thing. So
what holds me back is the not allowing, is like not believing it's that easy. getting so much better at gratitude and like realizing like, holy shit, I have so much to be grateful for. So now it's time to like ride on that and like believe more can come. There's like this part of, there's something in me that's like, when is the other, what is the saying? When's the other shoe gonna drop? Or
Yeah.
it can't be this good. It can't continue being this good. You know what I mean? It's like,
That's a good misbelief to work on. Yeah.
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 Thanks.
I love that. Thank you so much, Melissa. And well, it does just shine the light on something that I'm very aware of in this work, and that is that our ego is designed to actually motivate us by feeling bad. Our ego motivates us to go out, to get more money, to do more exercise, to do whatever it is we want to do through feeling fucking bad about ourselves. It's that energy that says, well, no, you can't feel good about how much money you have in your bank account now. How are you going to go out and create more? Don't feel good about it. Feel bad about it. And ironically, there is nothing that's more debilitating to creating more than fucking feeling bad about your financial health or whatever. The soul knows that it's the truth, just to feel the fullness and feel good with whatever we have. But we're all dealing with these beautiful egos that only have a physical world reference point. And they want to motivate us only through punishing, putting ourselves down.
Does one more person want to do a quick bullet share? Clara.
I was thinking, oh, dude, I feel like I'm this old woman that now just watches something while she's cooking. Brings the computer to the, you know, like those televisions that used to be in the kitchen so that they could do the novela. I don't watch novelas, but I do watch other stuff. And I was like, fuck. And then I realized, oh, and this hook to this, the belief that, you know, that I'm something that I'm not. So when I see myself in a way, and I see all the footage that I have for posting on the new channel that we're creating, and I go into, okay, I want to post these things, and I go to review, and it's like, I look fat, I look this, and the spot here, and the hair, and the that, and that. No, it's not perfect. I cannot show this. I cannot take the criticism. I cannot take all this coming back at me because I'm already doing it to myself.
Right.
That's exactly what's gonna come back. So that's what's holding me back. I have hundreds of videos and you haven't seen them all.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah, well, just great awareness, Clara. And this exercise really is designed to support us, not just with knowing how to move forward in that, but really actually giving those misbeliefs, those parts that don't yet know how lovable they are, really what they need. And so we really are here to give ourselves what we need so fully, such that we're like, hey, I can put that out because it's the love that I'm filled with is just moving me forward.
And really, it's I'm full whether I put it out or not. It's like we're in the either all is good, all is well.
Yes, and I look forward to seeing those videos.
Which I don't really want to share, but I feel like it's good to share. It's this actually embarrassment comes up because there's a fear of this like misbelief that I would get taken advantage of based on my experiences with relationships because of my own lack of boundaries and my own lack of self-worth and basically that and lack of clarity about what I wanted. Actually, like I had no idea what I wanted in life or like what would make me feel joyful. I was just seeking that through partners who wanted me, thinking, oh well, I must be worthy if they want me and they chose me.
Right.
So that that I'm breaking now until now.
Awesome.
Really beautiful intention. I love that. It sounds really clear. Light for the highest good, darling. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So we're going to be looking at what does release whatever's holding us back. And at that core, really, there is that misbelief, that judgment, that karma that really is coming up to clear. And I think that's probably the biggest wonderful reference point I got from the University of Santa Monica is that the challenges, the shit hitting the fan, those experiences of lack, of fuck, up? What's going on? My life's a failure. I'm a failure. Everything's fucked. That's not that we're not doing a great job. Maybe we're actually doing such a great job that a big chunk of our karma, a big chunk of our misperception, our human limitation is coming into our consciousness for clearing. So we're going to learn how we can really take advantage of this emotional experience of, oh, I don't have enough, I'm alone, I'm poor, whatever lack is your personal brand or favorite of lack. And we're going to really learn how to give ourselves what we need inside out that does show up also in this beautiful outside world. So we've been talking a bunch about releasing unconsciously what holds us back. And for me, that's where we're going to get the biggest bang for our buck. That doesn't mean to say that I'm not also doing what I can consciously to just be aware of, hey, how can I be more grateful, right? How can I just look at my life and just fill myself up with more gratitude? So I'm all in on that. But the reason that I share and that I do my own emotional healing work consistently is because it gets to those blind spots, those things that's like, oh, I really want to be moving forward in this. I know what to do. Why am I not doing it? It just is, it's unconscious. It's a blind spot. And so that's why we're looking at an emotional healing way to unpack and really release that material that's holding us back.
And it's often these old unconscious blocks or karmas, curriculums, let's say, that we've been avoiding that are what is holding us back the most. And I heard someone say earlier, well, I'm flying super high, but then I feel like something's pulling me, holding me down. And to me, that's these unconscious blocks. And I think it's so human to want to go run and avoid them and ignore them. And that this is really the key, is the embracing, the allowing, and the loving of this darkness, or I would say this immaturity, this unawareness, this, learning part, and loving it and making it whole and bringing it into this involvement and participation so it can fly with us.
Yeah.
All right.
Really, really exciting. So we're going to give you the option of doing 2 different exercises today. The first exercise is the one that I encourage everyone to do because it's the juicy, emotional one that is designed to clear the unconscious blocks. It is, however, going to require that you be vulnerable and you share with your beautiful partner that you might not know so well. You're going to have to share that you're not perfect. You're going to have to share some of the things that don't feel so great. But I do want to say that I feel so heartened and encouraged by the already really vulnerable sharing and just authentic kind of little shares, whether or not it's in text or on video, right? I really feel like we're here to let go of some big stuff. So I really honor you all in that. So the only other one thing that I did want to say is that this is an emotional process. This does require a level of vulnerability. So if you are new to this work and you, for whatever reason, do not feel like doing a deep dive and really sharing emotionally and vulnerably about some challenges in your life, we have given you an option to do exercise 2 as your choice of exercise, which is a beautiful one to just expand more consciously with gratitude. And you will get some really great opportunities, some great intentions and next steps. It's still a great exercise, but there's going to be the greatest ROI on the first exercise. And
do you have a graph for that, honey?
No.
All right.
Alrighty. So you should have those exercises or that one PDF. Both exercises are in the one PDF and the link is on your screen. It is also in the chat and it is also in the emails that you received.
It'll be in the chat.
So we are going to demo the first exercise in a super...
Do we need a demo with this group?
You know, maybe not. They're kind of rock stars. Well,
we can run through it, and if there's we'll just read through it real quick, maybe?
We'll run through some of it very quickly.
See if any questions.
Yes.
Okay, great. Because most of you guys are
Allowing
regulars.
Love pros. Yeah. So, and we will be doing a group centering, calling in the light, asking for the highest good, and really bringing in the spiritual protection before we all dive into this exercise. But if you want to do it again, just before you start to ask the questions, please do.
Yeah.
So what's the area of your life that feels the least abundant or successful? Describe your experience of lack briefly.
So for me, it's following through on completions. Yeah, like really just completing what I've been moving on, what's in my heart, and following the action, the thought, the feeling into completion. That's, yeah.
Describe how this feels. And really, this is the most challenging question. I'll ad-lib a little here. Often because we're not used to actually really diving in and feeling our feelings in society, often when we go to, well, I feel that I should have been doing more. I feel like my mum should have given me more money as a child. I feel like he was wrong, and that's why I'm having this terrible experience. So it's really important to be aware that none of that is a feeling. Just because you start a sentence with I feel, and then you go into a thought, a statement, a question, a blame, feelings usually are only a few words. I feel sad. I feel small. So I encourage us all to really listen and take in this question. Describe how this feels. Move your awareness into your body. So if all of your energy's up here in your head, in your thoughts, move your awareness into your body to support you in feeling rather than thinking. And then start with I feel.
Okay. And I think a lot of these people
are pros at this.
Okay. So I would just go, I feel sad. I feel discouraged. I feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel not good enough, etc. And this is the short version, obviously. And
I do encourage everyone to give yourself permission to be an immature, unspiritual person, because that's truly what's going to be speaking. You are not your feelings. You are not your thoughts. They're not who you are. You're this shining being of light that's just fucking awesome. But we're here to let go of some of our human limitations. So give yourself permission to say that, well, I feel small. I feel like a poo-poo head, whatever. Yeah,
I've said that.
Right? It's not real. It's not who you are, but fucking if we want to let go of it, let's really bring it into the light for clearing.
It's like you're on stage. Let your humanness take center stage and really have a ball with what's
it's really not that serious, but the outcomes can be really lovely.
Great.
So as you continue to feel, what is your earliest memory when you felt a similar way? Try not to think, but just let it pop into your awareness.
So I would just say when I was young and like doing some projects where teachers didn't like it or they didn't receive it, they didn't like my work, and I felt like I wasn't good enough, etc. So, and I would also say, so that's the earliest memory. I'd also say it might just be a sense of something that happened. So it doesn't have to be crazy specific. It's again, more the feeling of it and just having some awareness. So, some of us talk about past lifetimes, those things. So it might have a sense of something happened in another life, something happened, etc. And to me, just go with what comes present and trust that Spirit's going to give you.
Yeah, exactly. So an earlier memory could be one from childhood, but an earlier memory could also be a couple of weeks ago. But I do encourage you to open to what pops in as you continue to feel this experience. So close your eyes and allow that younger you to be present. What are they wearing? What is the expression on their face?
Kind of sad, kind of like shy in the corner. It's like wearing I keep seeing like a baseball hat and like a blue shirt, and just kind of ignored, kind of like alone.
Yeah. So now give your voice to younger you. Let them share freely about how they felt at that time, but in present tense, and feel it right now.
So I feel alone. I feel like no one sees me, like no one likes me. I feel like I'm a ghost. I feel like I'm worthless. And I think it's really important to, even if things sound like extreme, really go with them, because part of you may really feel that way and it's not the truth.
It's not
but
the
it
truth.
is a truth, a relative truth for our humanness, and to acknowledge that, to allow it, is really the key for this work.
Yep.
So it doesn't, if it feels extreme, still, like, you know, I feel like I want to die. I feel like no one cares for me. Like, these are really good things, and
Yeah.
it doesn't mean,
Yeah.
it's true.
So now ask younger you, what do you need and want right now? And let them respond.
So I need to know that I'm okay. I need to know that I'm good. I need a hug. I need someone to love me.
So now, from your highest, wisest, and most loving self, give younger you the inner experience they need using your imagination, intuition, or whatever. Allow younger you to receive.
So I would just say, I love you so much, Eric. I'm so grateful for you. I see you. You don't have to do anything to be good, to be worthy of love. And I just love your expression. I love your creativity. I love how you are. And I'm grateful for you. And it's really important to take in the words you're telling yourself and to not rush that. So you really feel it in all of your humanness.
Yeah.
This part. Yeah.
And, you know, you're all incredibly spiritually gifted people. I'm seeing who I'm looking at here. And so I encourage you to really trust anything that imaginatively or through your intention comes in. Because I've had some experiences where, like, oh, wow, like through my imagination, I can mock up this experience of what little Zoe really needed. So whether or not that, and what's often come present for me is like maybe just being on center stage and everyone's cheering for me and telling me how amazing, like really just use your imagination, your intuition to give yourself this experience so fully. Get wild and crazy with it. Really just allow spirit to lead.
And like she said, mock it up. And I've told somebody this before, but like I've had it where I wanted to hear something from my dad, you know, when I was little, like, I'm proud of you stuff. And so I just mocked that up. Like, I'm my dad talking to my younger self. And it gave me the experience I needed. It was incredible. So really we can do any of it inside in this imagination, creativity. Yeah. Okay. Have a great process. See you guys in half an hour. Love you.
See you guys soon. Enjoy.
Feels good.
Yeah. All righty, Richie.
Richie's ready to share.
Richie. I am Richie. I just had a delightful exchange with my beautiful partner. He said all our partners are beautiful, and they were. And during the prizing part, what was shared with me is I've already got it all happening. All I need to do, the essence of what I got was to expand it. And I really just got the truth of that. It went through me like, oh my God, that's true. And all I just have to do is love myself wherever I find myself. And I practice that. I mean, there's a disc for those people that are in MSIA, there's a discourse number 68 called The Garden Within, and it talks about all our different faces and the good, the bad, and the ugly, Clint Eastwood, but to love it all. And I just really that's my ticket, just to love myself and to own that I'm already everything I want to be, and I already have everything I need, and it's coming in on conveyor belts more. So thank you so much. I really experienced the peace in this, I call it fun shop. I don't do workshops, but anyway, in this fun shop. So thank you to Zoe and Eric and to my partner and to everybody.
Just a positive reframe of how to go about creating abundance, because it wasn't so much about the money. You know, it wasn't the most high-paying job. It was a federally funded drug program, but we didn't have to talk about drugs. And I did encounter groups, and it was so much fun. And while I was getting a master's in counseling, it was 73, 74. And now having sold our business and moving from LA to Tucson a few years ago, I said, yeah, I'd like to make some money and it'd be nice. And ideally by next summer when our business we sold will be paid off. But I'm starting to feel as we get closer to that time where we'll get our last payment for that business, I'm starting to feel a little more anxious and a little more fearful. Not a big way, because we'll be fine, but it would be nice to have more flow coming in. So what I wrote down from the process is trust my intuition to tap my inner wisdom and to flow freely in this process into joyous abundance. And I think it referred back to when I pulled at least a couple all-nighters in college when I was doing term papers for English classes, English lit classes. And it was just stressful. That was my earliest memory of that same kind of feeling that I have right now. So that's what I'm working with. And that's what I see as my opportunity to switch from that kind of pressure to be successful to relaxing and make it a joyous process. So that's my sharing.
I love it, Danny, and I so fully support that.
Thank you,
sounds
Danny.
Really on track. I love it. Thank you.
I mean,
so
I relate
much.
in that, you know, what it reminds me of for me is that we've been planning to buy a house or look for a house and getting our taxes and mortgage together, all that stuff. And we were kind of like, oh, we don't know if it's going to happen again, but I wasn't really looking clearly at everything. So it's like I was creating my own, I guess, fantasy that wasn't supportive in my mind. And also realize that often if I need to have the patience for spirit in its timing, not in my timing. So a lot of it's like when I get impatient, that's when the lack comes. And that's what I'm aware of too. It's because I'm trying for something to be, I mean, it's not there yet.
Yeah.
So in a way, anyway, that's just what came forward for me. So then thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Well, and I love how you reference, Danny, or that, you know, that intuition is really clear. And for me, when we're in that experience, there's just so much static in the channel. But when we can really just come into that greater experience, it is amazing how we either see those signs, those synchronicities, or intuitively, it's just so like this, that. It really is very helpful. I love just hearing how clear that intuition is for you. Beautiful.
Love you, Danny.
Thanks, Danny.
Love you guys too.
Yeah. Alrighty. Anyone else want to share? And this is really a vulnerable, beautiful opportunity. Great.
Can I?
Please, Clarita.
So my name is Clara, and I discovered something amazing in this exercise.
Right.
I discovered that I felt unrelatable. And not because I am special or unique or because of my talents and creativity, blah, 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 but because I felt like a widow, you know, like, oh, but you see, and then I discovered that there was an aspect of me. I had this experience when I was very young. I was a child, like 4 years old. And I was asking questions to my mom that she was like, I mean, like, why don't you just go play, you know? And so it's like, yeah, I felt very like a widow, and I didn't go for the things that my friends were going for when I was a child. But because I wanted to fit in, I tried things that I was just following what they were doing. But if I was my own initiative, I was totally not doing any of that. I was completely different. So that's where it's interesting. It to me was like, what? Unrelatable and a widow? So all those things are now tied into how I express myself currently and how I see videos and things that I've been filming, like, oh, but what? So anyhow, very interesting, very beautiful process. Very happy to have done it with the partner that I got. And thank you. Very, very nice. To be honest, I didn't even remember this was happening. I just went into looking into my email when I sat down to have my meal, and I saw your reminders. Like, this is the perfect thing to be doing while I have a meal.
That's great.
How perfect.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Love you, Clara. Really beautiful. And I do think it's just wild how yeah, just a simple emotional experience can track us back to what seemingly, who knows how it got wired in there, right? But just loving is the most powerful, all-encompassing. It can really heal and rewire anything, no matter how it got in there. Just really incredible. I love it. Thank you so much, honey. All righty. Anyone else?
Anyone else want to share? And also, Zoe, did you mention that if anyone's also still feeling in any lack
I
too?
did.
Okay, you
Yeah.
did mention that. We'd
Yeah.
love to hear about it.
Yeah. You know, sometimes at the end of an exercise, you know, your shit's still up. So if you're not in that place where it's, unicorns, rainbows, cupcakes, please feel free to also be present and share
Melissa.
this moment.
Hi. I had a really fun discovery. Eric, I really loved how you said abundance as a frequency. And so I'm really curious to really start exploring, like, what does abundance as a frequency mean for me and how does that feel?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to add that to my morning practice, my Zoë Allowing.Love meditation morning practice.
I love it.
And then there was something, my great discovery, and it's like, this is all like duh, but for some reason I understand it on a new level today, is piggybacking on abundance as frequency. If I'm abundance as a frequency, I want to start going into the world as this frequency and giving that rather than,
yes,
I've been focusing on pulling and wanting and needing and receiving, which is great, but like, I understand there's a, you know, giving and receiving is, you know, the cyclical thing, but it's like, what if I start focusing on giving more, which is to me, it's a duh moment, but for some reason I understand it differently today. Yeah. So thank you.
Love that.
Really beautiful, Melissa. And I think what's challenging is that what works best for me, I think maybe for everyone, but is truly giving from the fullness, giving from that overflow. And, you know, one of my favorite JR quotes is, you want more, give more.
Yeah.
And when we are putting ourselves first, taking care of ourselves and living this experience of the abundance of our life, no matter what the physical world outcomes of our life are, we do have it to give. The challenge is that often when we're trying to fill ourselves up outside in, we're not full. And when we give in that place, we just create so much resentment, blame, and separation in relationships. But it's not easy to discern, am I full? Am I truly giving from a clear overflow place? But really doing this work consistently for me just helps me be full, right? Like, my life's so fucking great. Of course I would show up abundantly for others.
Well, maybe that's what it is that because I've been in practice with you for so long and like doing all the work and the tools and bloody, is that maybe that's just where I am on my path, is of a place of fullness. And now I feel ready to shine and give.
Yeah, and there's no right or wrong at either. So I just want to make that clear. It's like, to me, yeah, I mean, we're all have times like where we need to be in the receiving and the giving. And to me, it's like, it's almost a lot less black and white than that. Like, we're always in both, you know, as spirit is too. And it's a dance, you know. And actually, well, when you're finished the share, I'll share a quick story. So anything else you want to say about that?
No, I feel completely.
Love you, Melissa.
I love y'all so much.
I just honor you for so fully showing up for yourself. It is my experience that as we do, we just live a greater fullness, and that giving is more of our vibration, our frequency. I love it.
So quick story, but it happened yesterday. I sold a piece of music gear to someone and their car broke down on the way here. So I offered to go give them a jump, which didn't actually want to ask, but I offered for them. And then they came here and it broke down again. They said the engine's basically dead. Anyway, I called AAA since I had a membership, and I got the AAA to tow him. And it wasn't a big deal for me, but he was so just grateful. And like he didn't want to put me out. He said, like, you've done enough, but it's like, done enough. Well, but there's more room to give. There's more room to overflow in the abundance. Like, I'm good. I have this AAA membership. Like, let's share in this. Why not? You're here. This is what's happening. And so often I feel like it is times like these in the moment where there is the opportunity to give in so many ways, whether it's with money or just with our loving and just with our reaching out, especially in those small moments. I find too, of when we're even at a restaurant or just these simple little things, and to be more aware of those opportunities where we can extend that consciousness or that frequency of abundance inside of us and share it with someone. So anyway,
it's not burning, but what you reminded me of was when you said about the receiving and the giving, it reminded me of the light and the shadow. It's like we're not always in the light, because without the light, without the shadow and the light, they come together. So I feel like sometimes I'm on the high and sometimes on the low, because the low is giving me the contrast to where I've got to go to get back into the light, kind of the area. So I've been working on the shadows more, and I really appreciate doing this today. It wasn't easy. It was uncomfortable.
Well, if there's anything that needs the light and the attention and the love, it's the shadow. So good on you. The light doesn't need the light.
Yeah.
It's the light. So it's good.
Really beautiful. Thank you, Louise. Love you lots.
Love you.
It's really my life's work, this combination of what I received through my doctorate of spiritual science, but also this emotional healing, various methodologies through the Masters in Spiritual Psychology. And so what we'll be doing over 10 months is really getting clear on how is spirit calling you to show up and share, give more of this light, this love. And in my experience, that does start to come in consistently in terms of career/service, right? How is it that we're called to stand fully in this world and really give of who we are? We'll also be doing a love project. There is no better way to clear your karma than to dive in on challenging relationships and really look at some of the judgments, some of the blame that we hold inside, and really use them to release any of our blocks to love, especially if you're calling in the one. We will really be doing a lot of work that really clears up some of those misbeliefs and some of those blocks to intimacy. The foundation of the program is small group coaching in what I call a sacred 7 format. So there is 30 people that gets enrolled into the program itself, but then everyone's broken out into groups of 6. So you'll have a mentor that helps with logistics and loving support, but then 2 times a month we get together in our sacred 7,
which I like,
which really becomes like a little sacred unit, a group of people that you come to experience have got your back and are cheering for you as you courageously are leaning in, taking risks and showing up for your calling and for the love that you want more in your life. Those small groups also give me a chance to more one-on-one intimately support people through blocks and challenges. And each week, well, every 2 weeks, we dive into a new technique, a new way of really clearing that holds us back, so that we can just easily allow the spirit to move us forward in enjoyable, effortless action. But a lot of that takes that diligent work of how can I give my ego what it needs, that love recognition, so that I'm allowing the love, allowing love to move me forward. We also do a weekly alignment call every Monday morning. That is optional, but just an incredible way to reconnect to your intention, as there really is abundant support in this program, and you get to choose how you design it for yourself. There are some people that show up for every call and just love that greater experience. Some people have very full lives, so they can't make all of the calls, but they make the required ones, and then they take advantage of the recordings. Everything's recorded and doing it in their own time. But mostly I would say it's a big love fest, right? The love that we have for each other does create an incredible energy field, a resource to support us in moving more fully into our life. So I am opening enrollment today. Early bird enrollment will close in a month's time, and I am offering bonuses for people that enroll in October. So that means that if you do enroll in October, even though the program doesn't start until February, you get additional monthly group coaching calls for those enrolled in November, December, January, and February, 4 of those. And then you also get monthly one-on-one coaching sessions with me, November, December, and January. So that the value of that in and of itself is $1,500. So it's a really great encouragement that if you are considering just getting a little more support in your life, you've been considering coaching in some way, if you're considering the Allowing Love Intensive, it's a great idea to check it out now, because if you do sign up early, you really do just get a lot of bonuses, so you can hit the ground running come February. So if you hear the inner call, sounds very cheesy, but I truly ask that, yeah, there may be a call inside and there may not, of course. But if you do want to just check out if you might be a fit, please just schedule a discovery call with me anytime you choose. And we've got some incredible testimonial videos from current Allowing Love Intensive members coming up in the next little bit. And I forgot to put the URL. That's actually a link to all of the information, and that is zoelumiere.com/ALI. So I'm just going to quickly throw this in the chat in case people are just wanting to read success stories, just read a little bit more about the program.
And I just want to say, and maybe you know someone who might be a good fit for, but also I just want to give Zoe prizing right now, because doing this part is probably the least fun of anything. And I don't like the type of stuff, anything that feels a little markety or whatever, but we're really just sharing it because you guys know it's her heart's work. And I mean, a lot of you are in the program and have done things in it. So, well, basically all of you now. So anyway, love you all. And Zoe's doing a great job. And yeah, we just want people to experience this work. For the highest good.
Yeah. And I don't know how it works. I just show up and trust. But we've had a couple of people in the program this year that really haven't had any spiritual reference points, right? Like often my programs are filled with MSIAs and people that are already at just such a high, what I would say, vibration. But it was incredible to see how everyone has gotten just such profound value where they're at. And well, we're all spiritual masters, right? Whether or not we're conscious of it or not. But this is a very loving, inclusive, grounded way to really explore the spiritual concept, but also really do some clear and on track psychological, emotional healing.
Before we close, does anyone have any question about any of it? Logistics or anything?
I do have a question.
Sure, Clarita.
How much is the intensive for next year?
So the early bird rate is $377 a month over 10 months. So that's $3,770 for the full 10-month program.
Got it.
And there'll be an audit price.
Yeah, well, audits we'll talk to separately, but there is an audit price. And a few other things that we're cooking up.
Is there a 20-month payment? I don't know.
Oh, I did do this for this year and I'm pretty sure I will do it again. I'm also working on a couple of scholarships, but I am more than happy to take that over 20 payments rather than 10
half the
payments.
amount for 20 months.
Yes. Yeah.
And if
you're the math guy.
And if you sign up, if anyone's clear and you sign up soon, you get, at least in October, you would get 3 coaching sessions with Zoe. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you guys so much. Have an incredible week. Keep on doing you. Love you guys. See you soon.